Hi everyone, happy Friday. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Erin Meyer. I'm the Sustainable Food Programs Coordinator here at the University of California, Merced. Today we are going to talk about the film and book actually. Mission Joy is the name of the film. The book is A Book of Joy. And I am so excited. I think it's going to be a very valuable conversation. Maybe to begin, I wanted to play some ground first because some of these topics can be hard to talk about. So this is a safe space. Thoughts and points and all of that jazz. That being said, the reason we're hosting sorry, I'm gonna mute you real quick, Lori. Getting some feedback on your end. Sorry, thanks. No, that's okay. Yeah, so the reason I'm holding this event is because I don't know if you're anything like me, but I've been experiencing eco anxiety and eco grief, and it's been really hard. Like and I'm sure you all are too. And we have a pandemic. There's a war going on. Climate change is very real, and we're witnessing the effects daily. I don't know where some of you are from. A lot of you, Cindy's in my area, but it's very hot here. Lori, you're in California too, so you understand. And Vicki, you're in my area as well. So yes, it's hot. There's wildfires, and every day I feel like I'm having this existential crisis over climate change and what we can do about it, what I can do about it. And I have this, Kentucky's underwater. I'm having like eco anxiety and eco grief. And I was listening to this really interesting podcast last night. And it's talking about how it's the idea of you have to put on your own face mask first in order to help other people. And one of the lines said something along the lines of, you can't solve the world's problems without solving your own first. So I can't be a good climate steward without also being healthy myself, healthy and happy, right? And so I have always loved the book of Joy. It is right here. It is a book I read every year. It's fantastic. And then the film is based on the book. And so when I realized that they have a film and are letting people screen it, I jumped at the opportunity. Because I think that the more we can work on our joy, the better we can work on the climate and the other things that we're trying to move forward and just be a happier, more compassionate, thriving community. So we're here to talk about that. And like I said, it's a safe space. Let's be respectful and kind, but also have fun and create some joy. So I've never done a poll before. I'm going to try and launch a poll. Okay. If you want to take my poll, that would be super fun. All right. So we've got some work to do. No one's high joy. And we've got some low joy in the crowd. I feel like I'm on a 3 right now. So let's get to work. So I can share the results apparently. So you can see we've got some mixes there. All right. So this is a community discussion. I've got some stuff that I wanted to talk about, but also like if you all want to chat about things, you can put them in the chat or you can just unmute and we can begin. So did anyone have any like just first thoughts that they wanted to share?
So I'll share that I just started watching the film today. So it's been a busy week. So I'm about 2/3 of the way done. And it's cute to see the interaction together, and the importance of doing good for others. I loved that piece. I'm involved in the community, and I know when I do that, it fills my bucket. Um, so I'm really excited. And I did sign up for that 7 days of joy. I thought that's going to be a fun project. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But when I think about my joy, I have a lot of health problems. So that brings me down. So I feel like I have to put extra energy into feeling joyful, because a day where I feel really good isn't every day. So it's like a lot more effort. So I don't know if I'm contradicting myself and trying to be joyful when my body feels like it's been ran over by a car. I don't know, just to kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's hard. It's exhausting is really what it is when it's not a good, healthy day.
Absolutely. And I was listening to this podcast recently, and it was also just really fascinating. It was about pain and how pain is never just physical, it's also biological and social. So you have to address all of those three things in order to reduce the pain. So it's not just like taking a painkiller, but it's addressing what else is going on in the rest of your life and your environment and things like that. And I thought it was really interesting. I can share that podcast if I think of the name. But it was with this MD who works at Stanford and UCSF, I believe. And now she's like on this trip basically to like promote pain reduction and everything. So it's a fascinating podcast. But yeah, it's hard to feel joyous when you're in pain. And I'm in the same boat as you health wise. So I totally understand that.
Vicky, I'm not sure. Please let me know if my sound craps out. It might. But Vicky, I'm not sure if you got this far, but there was a section in the movie where they did like a functional MRI of people's brains when they were told that they were going to have pain. And did you get that far, Vicky?
I don't think
Yeah,
so. It doesn't sound familiar, but I'm looking
you're gonna
forward
love
to
it.
it.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And the sort of takeaway was that meditators or people who are sort of in the moment and not anticipating or remembering, but like exactly where they were, um, experienced pain when the pain was actually happening. But people who didn't meditate experienced the pain before and after it was actually happening. So I think that's associated with a point in the movie where they pointed out that great suffering really is necessary for the development of compassion. And there was a lot of suffering that people talked about in the movie too, and that really struck me.
Yeah, great point. Cindy or Jamie, were you able to watch it?
I wasn't. I'm just listening to what you're talking about and the general topic. I do need to watch it. So mostly I'm listening to you. When you talk about, I didn't get the whole survey. I just got number one, and then the two was blank. So I don't think I might have answered it low joy, if that was just my two choices that I saw. I really do want to watch this movie because I find a lot of just what you're talking about to be true, that we can kind of set our mind and our view on those things that can help support us and be able to move up instead of down. I think I've always fought with thank God, just low grade depression. And I was kind of up and down, but not deep. And I know our house burnt down 3 months ago. And my husband would say, don't laugh when you're talking about it. But somehow I had to laugh. And about, what I could. And also, it's just, try to go, well, now I don't have to sort through all those papers, or, try to find the good of the mess that we made of things. And, there's some consequences that are a little tough to deal with. But besides that, it can be somewhat freeing if you want to see it that way, instead of sitting down and crying all the time. Get little gut punches sometimes when you realize some family heirloom you'll never look at again. But I was just starting to kind of purge and think about remodeling some. So my gaze had been spending time on those things that I knew I wanted to keep. So for some reason, I've got mind pictures, and I'm trying to have them make me happy and be glad that they're strong in my mind rather than be a missing thing. So I don't know how much that relates to what you're doing, but I'm definitely going to watch the movie now. Listen, I just kind of hopped in because I had this on my calendar. So sorry, wasn't prepared. But we can make choices almost always. Sometimes things knock you so hard, it's hard, but just see things in a light. Oh, that was the other thing. We went ahead. That was the end of April, and we have our UPIC and our festival is the end of May, and people go like, oh, you're still doing it? And I go, oh, I can't imagine how depressed I would be if I didn't move forward and do the thing where I brought people onto the farm and shared fruit and shared the river. So at that point, I just had to keep going rather than crying my beer. So that's where I was.
Cindy, I have 2 questions. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Karen.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm so sorry to hear that. I had no idea, and I don't know. I feel really bad. I'm glad that the UPIC went well, and I just had a similar story. Someone tried to mug me a few months ago, and it resulted in some physical and emotional turmoil, and lasting damage too. And it was on a Wednesday or something, and my team was like, "Are you sure you want to go to the pantry on Saturday and distribute food?" I'm like, "Yeah." I don't want to be stuck in my apartment thinking about it, and I want to go help people and give back. Like, that is what fills my cup, and so I totally hear what you're saying.
Okay. Good.
Cindy, I'm wondering, where are you? What is your physical geographical location?
Okay, we're just outside of Livingston. We're along the
Uh-huh.
Merced River between Highway 99 and Santa Fe. So
Cool,
about
cool.
25 minutes from UC Merced, I guess, going north. And
Great.
we have,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
anyway, that event we have, the pick and gather, that's when the blueberries and cherries are prime. And now that, we were just kind of coming out of COVID too. So more of the community things happening, trying to rebuild that. But that's where we are. We're along the Merced River. I mean, this beautiful place. Farming isn't exactly been financially super rewarding lately. It's just things. It's the world is kind of tilted against family scale farmers, but anyway, we're here, so that feels good too.
Cool. I can relate. I had a UPIC in Modoc County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I just have a second question. If the whole poll had shown up with 5 dots between
Mhm.
low joy and high joy, where would you be today?
Oh, well, because I just had another grandchild and I got to witness that a couple days ago, I'd be at least on 4, I think.
All right.
If 5 was high joy. Yeah, I didn't scroll down or something. I don't know what, but I just thought it was incomplete.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. And then taking time, I should have been staying here doing paperwork, but I didn't. But I would have, hopefully I'll get that paperwork done the next couple of days, but I got to witness that. And that's the most important thing. I have to make those choices. So that one I made, won't ever forget it.
I like that we're talking about laughing at yourself too, because that's one thing that they mention in both the book and
Huh?
the film is this role of humor in bringing about joy. And I think I take myself far too seriously. And I need to laugh at myself a little bit more. But I also just need to laugh in general more. I've realized lately that I don't laugh enough. And yesterday my boss told us like it was a dad joke, but it was a good joke. I liked it a lot and I laughed out loud, and it's been a while since I've laughed out loud. So
Mhm.
if Mark, if you're listening to this, thanks for the joke. And there's this thing that I found the other day, because I've been doing some research about things we could talk about and do. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a thing called laughter yoga. And I'm going to put a link in the chat, but also I'll send out an email probably tomorrow with some of the things that we talked about. And they do this like Zoom laughter yoga every night. So it's like Monday through Friday at like 7 o'clock our time for the folks here in Merced. And I think there's some other times too, but it's like this gathering of folks. And I think there's mostly folks from definitely not America. Most of them are older too, which is nice. And they just laugh, and it's like kind of more like stretching, but it's just an hour of laughter and it's fantastic. So that has been bringing me some joy lately. I'm going to put the link in the chat.
Okay.
But yeah.
Erin, it's on Zoom. It's a Zoom laughter yoga.
Yeah.
Ah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And so sometimes like if I'm wrapping up work, I'll just put it on in the background. And it's just nice to hear people laugh. And it's silly. And I think you might like it.
That was actually part of the like the 7 days of joy. There was a little activity where you had to listen to someone laugh. And I love to hear babies laugh.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, there was one laugh that kind of scared me a little. It was a little scary, but the baby laugh is just so wonderful. I love that.
Sorry, my computer is dying. I had the same reaction. I got scared at one point. There was like a cackle or something. But it did make me smile. It's like just hearing other people's laughter is contagious. And the same goes for smiling. And a few, actually, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but ages ago, I read this article in, I want to say it was Time magazine or something. And it's called like Happiness is Contagious. And the book reiterates this, but basically happiness spreads across like three, I don't remember how they phrase it, but like 3 tiers. So like if I'm happy right now, it'll spread to you, Cindy, and then Cindy, that happiness can spread to your partner, and then your partner's happiness to your neighbors. So it's like contagious, right? And I think the same goes for smiling. There's also some really cool research with runners. If you smile when you're running, it makes it easier.
I bet.
Yeah. And so I thought maybe we could take a minute, because there's also a part in the book. I want to pull up the actual page. So it says something like page 248. I know you all might not have the book, but smiling stimulates the release of neuropeptides that work toward fighting off stress and unleashes a feel-good cocktail of the neurotransmitters serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. Serotonin acts as a natural antidepressant, dopamine stimulates the reward centers of the brain, and endorphins are natural painkillers. Smiling also seems to reward the brains of those who see us smiling, making them feel better too. Smiling is contagious, stimulating unconscious smiling in others, which in turn spreads the positive effects. And then it asks, did the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop smile because they were happy, or were they happy because they smiled? I like that. So I thought maybe we could take like 20 seconds just to smile, uh, to get some like endorphins and dopamine and all of that going. So let's just smile.
Okay.
I'm not a selfie person, so when I try to do a selfie and I smile, just like this is not it.
Yeah, me neither. And usually I'm video off for a reason, but this one it felt important to share smiles.
I'm
So
willing to go in 100%. Let's.
go for the joy, right? All right. So how can we bring more hope into our community?
Ooh.
You know, I know you mentioned the environment earlier, but I'm gonna go back also to after COVID. Oh my goodness, oh, I feel like I took a beating. I feel like our environment took a beating. It's really sad to feel like things are ugly. And I'm like, where's the goodness? What happened? So I try to make it a point to smile. It's funny. Good morning, greet people, random strangers, and just try to be positive. And I hope, in hopes that spreads to others. I have a team about 55 at work, and I just had a training with all of them after the summer break. And I don't know, I just thought, okay, I come running out like the back podium, like, welcome back, everybody. Woo, I don't hear you. Let's act like we're $1 billion company. I'm like, oh yeah, we are. But hey, how you kind of see that with these high CEOs or whatever, right? And I thought I have to help lift everyone up if that's what I hope to see, because we work in a field where we're engaging families that could be experiencing crisis or different socioeconomic backgrounds. So I can't have a group of people that are just caught up in the stressors of life, but to be able to have a release, and not feel trapped. They get really emotional thinking about how society has changed, in my opinion. It seems like it's gotten depressing and angry, and I'm really working hard internally to not be a part of the problem, because I don't want to get sucked into that. But it's a daily thing. It's daily. Right now we've had a lot of turnaround here in my office, and I'm telling my coworker, I said, be positive, be positive. She goes, oh, you and your positivity, I'm kind of over it. I said, well, let's not bring negative energy, because negative energy is going to bring negative people. Let's bring positive, joyful energy and hope that the best candidate is going to come through our door. We want somebody positive. And I'm all about karma too, and, bringing positivity, but it's hard. It's hard to do it all the time. Maybe because I'm not, people say I'm naturally that way, but people also don't realize I like to be by myself. Like I will go inward, and like I say, I'm my own best friend. But when it comes to helping others, I'm the first in line. I just love to do that. But when I don't have anything to do, I want to be left alone. So I hope that that's what they see that I bring to the table here, because it's not easy to be positive all the time, because you have a lot against you. So I don't know. I'm just trying to develop my team in hopes that it avoids the high turnaround and things like that. So we'll see.
A couple of things, I don't know, that are not necessarily in counter in it, but maybe in balance. One is authenticity. And, sometimes when people are smiling, you can tell it's not real. So, I mean, if we figured out a way to come from that, from the inside as much as possible and stuff. So it's just, balancing that authenticity out a little bit, keep, buzzword right now. And the other one is some people have spent almost all their life trying to please others and being the smiley one. So it's like it can go overboard or actually not be totally healthy if you feel like you have to please everybody else without balancing out. So I've watched some women kind of, I mean, actually they're happier now, probably smiling more now, but when they finally figured out that it wasn't their job to make everybody happy, or got away from a partner that, you know, they were never good enough for, you know, in that person's mind. So, you know, being smiley and bouncy is great. And I think we need to try to do it as much as we can. And hopefully it's because we have figured out ways to see the world and deal with the world that helps us just feel that way naturally. But, you know, I've known some people that smile all the time, and you just kind of go, is that knife coming up behind my back again? You know, because it's a ruse. It's a, you know, it's a cover for something. So that's all. There's my downer. Sorry.
I want to back up your downer, actually,
Okay.
Cindy. I agree, and but you know, with a positive spin, I guess, right? I agree about the authenticity, and I don't know if you've traveled in countries where culturally people don't smile, just like for no reason. For example, the first time I went to Germany, you know, we're used to, like, we see a stranger on the street, we smile, right? And
Right.
their attitude, and they are not afraid to say it, is, what are you, some kind of damn idiot? Like, you don't have anything to smile about. And I'm really, I don't think that, I mean, I think that people in that culture are positive and, you know, and are funny and all that. And I guess I want to say that there's this way, like the difference between happiness and joy was something that Dalai Lama talked about. Um, where joy sort of comes from within, it's generated within, as opposed to something that, as you said, Cindy, is expected, especially from women, like so much from
Yeah.
women, you know, like, oh, you have such a pretty smile, you should just smile. Um, and I'm thinking that Vicky, encouraging joy, and as you're doing, taking care of people and taking care of yourself and doing for others is such a great way to, you know, just sort of raise the sort of general vibration without, I mean, and be authentic, right? Like, there is some aspect of fake it till you make it, but also, you know, I think people do really well when there's, you know, genuine positivity around. Anyway, check.
Sorry
So,
about that.
so I missed the blueberry pick this year. I didn't know. I'm barely starting to go out into the world now. That's horrible.
Yeah. Well, this summer is so hot too. We've kind of just closed things down a little bit. But hopefully this fall, I don't know, if we need some rain, can we do a positive vibe for some rain and
Right.
snow in the mountains?
Yeah. So Erin, how long will we be able to watch the film? Be able to watch it at home, but I think it expired tonight, so I wanted to check in on that.
So, yeah, let me log into Zoom,
Okay.
just to deal with what just happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think you have until midnight tonight, but don't quote me on that. It might also be that you have until 9 p.m. tonight. Wait, now.
Midnight East, okay. I will
Yeah.
turn it on. We
Yeah,
hit
it
that.
might be 12 p.m. Eastern. So I think to be safe, I would give it
Mhm.
9 p.m. our time.
Okay. And now, are you looking to Are you part of a project now? Or is that what the film is for right now? Are you looking for an audience?
So we have a panel series that we've been doing. And so both a panel and like book series sort of thing.
Mhm.
So let's see, what was our last one? The last one, we watched this film called New Talk, and we had a community discussion because I couldn't get anyone from the film to join, but we just watched the film prior and then discussed it kind of like we're doing now. On next Friday, we have a discussion with Amy Taylor from the film Milked, which is about the dairy industry in New Zealand. And I'll send a link to that tomorrow when I send out the email from this. But most of these films and discussions are related directly to sustainability, because I'm in the Office of Sustainability, of course. But this one, it was a little different, you know, because it's not directly about sustainable food or climate change. But like I said before, this eco anxiety is like a real thing. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to offer this both as a way for myself to heal, but also as the way for the community to heal and experience a little bit more joy. And so, yeah, we have this panel series, and it was going every month for the last probably a couple of years now. I tried to have a panel every month. I haven't found one for September yet, but there's still time.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering, you know, for, okay, so maybe I'm off topic here. I know we're supposed to be talking about joy, but we're also talking about the environment. Okay, so something as simple as composting, right? Right. There's a new law where you have to recycle your composted food. All right. I don't know too much about it, just a little bit and enough to ask the question, why don't we have that service here where we work, right?
Yes.
So I have the opportunity in my current position to reach over 1,000 families in our county. And I would love for my staff and I to learn what it is, what it means, and how can we have maybe little workshops to help educate others, because it takes not just one person, but one person sharing with another, and so forth. I think I froze. Let me turn my camera off.
Okay.
Yeah, so can I ask a clarifying question? By that, you mean you want to get more education to the families about SB 1383 and composting, or the environment? Like, what exactly are you trying to educate them on?
So yes, and how we're impacting the environment in general. What can we do? What small things can we start with to do to make changes in our lives and at home? And you know, I don't have the data to prove, you know, whatnot, but if you were to reduce so many water bottles a week, this is how you're impacting the environment, right? What else can you do instead of buying water bottles? You know, just simple things, because sometimes people need to start small.
Vicki, I think some of the other agencies, you know, in the city of Merced and stuff too, it could make a really good partnership, because they, to help get that information out to families. You know, in composting, there was a while where they were giving away the composting, you know, barrels, or those kind of the square things with the composting containers, and that may be a possibility too. But it is time to.
But I think that we do a very poor job at educating the public.
I think we do. I think I'm old. I was in Minnesota in the early '60s in school, and moved to California later. But you know, we were watching movies on how not to litter, and how to ride our bikes properly, and how to, I don't know, just how to be a good citizen, and how to take care of things. And that was part of what we were doing then. And I don't know if that's happening now. I'm
It's not.
working with some people that are trying to start like preschool and stuff here on that like nature school. So I'm not sure how well that's going to keep on going, but and we need to get, well, and if you can get into the kids' heads, whether there's a school or after school projects or stuff, they bring stuff home to their parents, you know,
Right.
they'll shame them sweetly, right? Sometimes
Right.
into a new practice.
I mean,
So-
I'm just in a good position. I think that, Erin, if you want to use me and we could do a project, we serve pregnant women and children 0 to 5. So, you know, children 0 to 5 love dirt. You know, they love to be outdoors, different projects. But my staff work directly with the families. So we're looking at an adult group. We did start with Valley Onward. I recruited some of our parents who became like health advocates. So they do now community presentations regarding different health topics. But maybe we do something like that and they get trained on how to have community conversations regarding the environment. Something.
Yeah. What is Valley Forward?
Valley Onward is a
Oh, Valley
nonprofit. It used to be under United Way. It used to also be funded by, oh, what was that? It was a South Modesto funding. I don't remember what it was called at the time. But I don't know. I'm open. I'm all about sharing knowledge. I also lead our policy council here, which is the representation of our whole county of families. And they're a really great group. It's just a good venue to talk to people, to get more people
Absolutely.
involved.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you bring that up because we actually have a grant from CalRecycle to do kind of just that, to do the education piece around food waste and all of those things. So
Do that.
we're doing a little bit of work right now with Merced City School District to go into maybe some classrooms. We put out some flyers in their like parent square thing that they have. And then in the fall, we're hoping to do some sort of maybe like assembly or something of the sort. We're still figuring that part out. But yeah, I would love to help because like working with the kids is the first best way to go.
Right. And then we owe many of our gardens, most if not all, centers have a garden. So we have a garden that the parents and the children keep up, and whatever is produced, the families can take.
And those will kind of wax and wane, you know, with the people that are.
Yeah, you
working
know,
on them.
sometimes it gets overgrown, it gets too overgrown. So, hey, it's a male engagement activity. Let's bring the muscle.
Yeah.
And then they come and they do this thing with their kids and they're cleaning up the gardens. And then, you know, then we have a planting day and then the kids go and do science while they look at the vegetables grow. So just keep me in mind, Erin. I'm open, and Cindy, because I know that, you know, you've had your loss recently, but yeah, I would.
Yeah, and work projects in that zone before too.
Yeah.
So I would appreciate being included some way or other. Yeah, if I can help at all.
Yeah, let me think about this a little bit more. But Vicki, if you want to send me an email, that would be really awesome. And we can, I don't know, set up a meeting and brainstorm.
Sounds
You
good.
have my email address?
And it sounds like Vicki can kind of bring you a market for that information you're developing on that with your grant, you know, kind of a prepackaged one in a way. So
Right.
It seems like it could really expand.
Yeah, well, and even if it's not
Possibility.
CalRecycle related or funded under CalRecycle, that's what all my programs are about anyway. It's like plus food. So yeah, this could be great. Vicki, you'll have my email address after this if you don't already. But yeah, let's set up some sort of meeting. And then Cindy, you're welcome to join too. My schedule is a little crazy right now. I'm in the middle of plant-based spending reporting. And so like every waking moment I'm working on spreadsheets. But yeah, we'll find a time. That sounds great.
Well, you work on this a lot too, but you know, if they're going to try to get families to do some composting at home, some families don't cook at all. you know, so without doing some, you know, fresh chopping of vegetables and, you know, or just learning how to, it just, all those things can kind of build on each other, which is kind of all of our dreams. But I try to put too many things in one basket, so just ignore that.
You know what? I can relate, Cindy. I want to do everything. You know,
Uh-huh.
I want to use the position I'm in to do the most good. And we could do that, and we do it, you know. But
Uh-huh.
I'm only one person. But I want this to happen. I want to be educated. I want the people I know to be educated, and I think and I have the venue for it. That's the thing that people don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, you know, so I oversee 55 staff that work with 1,157 families. Some of them are home visitors. They actually go into the home. So it's a real connection.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, well, I'm just hopeful listening to the few people that showed up for this one.
Right.
So,
I know. And I sent it out, but my staff, they just came back from summer break, but I was hoping they would join in and watch the film, but maybe they didn't get around to it. If this is a film and a conversation you think you want to do again, we can set it up during one of my meetings and show the film and then just have a little chat about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can put you in contact with the guy from Morocco Films, I believe, Rocco or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think, like you saw at the end, they're trying to spread this recipe far and wide. Did I say recipe?
You said
Yes, you
recipe.
did.
Let's say we're talking about food. Recipe.
Yeah, spread this message far and wide. So
we need it. Oh my gosh, I was in Texas 2 weeks ago and the driving was insane. I had to take medication for anxiety, like supplements. It was crazy. And I think that was I have my own issues with Texas, but so being there, I just had a lot of anxiety. Wow. Why did that even come up? Okay.
It's not a state that draws me, you know, that's for sure. But
wow.
maybe. Okay. Well,
Well,
I'm going to try to watch that movie before it's gone today. So
yeah, I want to watch
sorry
the
I
rest of
came
it.
in.
Erin, did you have any other follow-up questions you wanted to ask about the film? I don't know what
I got
happened to
plenty, because I loved it and I could just talk about this topic for ages. But if y'all want to wrap up, that's fine. I did want to maybe end with well, my poll. I've got another follow-up poll.
I'll look at it better.
But there was a quote that I really like, and the reason I read this every year is because this quote is, well, the whole book is really good, but I specifically like this quote. Let's see. Actually, let me do our poll and then I'll end this on the quote.
Okay.
I'm excited. I've never actually done the polls on here before.
Oops. Uh-oh, I hit it wrong. I was trying to move it. Okay, there we go. Interesting.
That's the old one.
Yeah, okay.
So what you'll do on the bottom right side, there's like these three, there's an ellipsis, and you click it, and it'll say like launch a new poll.
It says live transcript, live on YouTube, live on Twitch.
On the polls, you selected polls first.
Yeah, I don't have the three ellipsis on there, but it does have a, oh wait, here, I'll do this. Okay.
There it is.
It's the old one. Oh, this is compared to, okay. So I'm seeing, let's see, this way. Okay, I just needed to change the position of my phone. And I got all the numbers.
Well, I feel like that's progress.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
feel I'm on a 5 now too. Okay, let me end with our quote. Okay, the Archbishop had used a beautiful phrase to describe this way of being in the world. Becoming an oasis of peace, a pool of serenity that ripples out to all of those around us. So please leave and become an oasis of peace and a ripple of joy. And have a great day. I really enjoyed this. Thank you all.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you.